Three, two, one.
Let's go.
Let's go. Okay.
Fourth episode.
Fourth episode. Hey, everybody.
Welcome back.
Hi.
Back on.
Back on. This is the
Fourth episode.
Yes, fourth episode. It feels like it's been a while since we recorded, huh?
Yeah, it's a week
Yeah.
ago. So
Yeah, it is a week
maybe
ago.
we need to get back in more. I don't know.
Shout out to Huey. Hopefully, I fixed this audio problem. Every week he texts me that it's quiet.
Yeah, so we're going to talk louder.
Yeah.
Maybe he's got wax in his ears.
Hopefully, yeah. Yeah, hopefully you can hear this all the way from Vietnam, dude.
Yeah.
But today's topics, we're talking about being Asian, talking about being Vietnamese specifically. We're talking about the racism, the proudness, the pride, the shame, the stereotypes of it.
Did you ever want to be a different race?
Yeah, and the rise of the popularity in
being
Asian
Asians
culture.
in.
It's being cool. Yeah.
It's cool. It's
yeah,
cool.
it's cool.
I mean, for you, tall Asian helps.
Thanks, Dad. Thank you, Dad, for those jeans. Yeah. First on the list, we got first experience with racism. I'm sure you had a lot of it, Dad.
I did.
Growing up.
You want me to go first? I'll tell you some of my crazy stories. You can tell me.
The first ever experience that you had.
The first, I still remember it quite vividly, actually. 1978, kindergarten. I was in kindergarten, 6 years old. Yeah. Didn't speak no English hardly.
Right.
But understand that we were refugees in an all-black neighborhood in the hood.
Right.
Fourth Ward. Right?
These people don't even know what Asian
Man,
is.
they didn't. Yeah, we were aliens.
Yes.
I vividly remember we're playing, just a group of us, and there was these black kids that ran on us, and the first thing is ching chong, ching chong.
Yeah.
And I remember fighting in kindergarten, and it was crazy. It was like a full-on fight, fist fight. And they were throwing rocks or whatnot and calling us chings and ching chong and Bruce Lee.
Did you even know what that meant at the time, though?
No.
Yeah.
We didn't even understand English.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You only knew what was happening when it got physical.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy. This is the late 70s.
Yeah.
You're talking about... I'm not talking about internet. I'm like, information.
There was no
not
technology anyway. Phones weren't
Kids
even a
didn't even
thing.
have TV.
There was
basically.
no TV, no telephone.
We had a TV, and it was a 5-inch black and white.
Y'all didn't even have pagers yet.
No.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, technology is far and beyond. But, they've never seen us except on TV.
And even then, it
it
was
just the kung fu movies.
Yeah. Right.
To them, we could fly and on trees, and we said "Hiya!"
Yeah.
And our lips moved, but sound came out a different way, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And that's all they knew.
Right.
And so, of course, when we fought back, they fought.
Right.
But that type of racism is pretty prevalent because it's that
still,
ignorance.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
It's ignorant racism, right? I think there's different forms of it.
Oh man.
So we were. We fought back. We banded together and fought back. And, I remember there was a Laos community there.
Right.
And we didn't like them because they were different. And
so we're not much better than them.
No,
is what
man.
we're saying.
When
Everybody's
tell
a
you
little bit.
everybody has.
Right. Of course, there's varying degrees.
There is varying degrees.
Right, but everybody's
they're lying to you. They're like,
Yes.
because the first thing you accuse them, but they're like, I'm not racist.
Yeah.
And then they search for whatever friend that they're looking. If
well,
you're Asian,
my friends are black.
Yeah, my aunt's uncle's neighbor's Asian.
Yeah.
My in high school, one of my best friends was black.
Yeah.
So the defense mechanism, but we're all racist. Vietnamese people are some of the most racist people in the world.
Especially, yes, the Vietnamese community.
So this is kind of
racist.
be a fun subject to talk about reverse racism, and stuff like that as you're going through it.
But
what about you in Victoria?
Well,
or even in Lake City?
I did. My first experience with racism was also in kindergarten, Dad. It was in PE class. and we had to do roll call where they read your whole name out loud.
Oh.
Yeah. And of course you guys gave me an American first name, which is fine. But the rest of my name is not American.
Yeah.
So I'm in the line and we're all standing in line and they just call your name and you say, and you raise your hand like this and you say here. And they say, Mason Quang Tran. And I raise my hand and this black kid next to me goes, "What's your name?" And I was like, "Mason Quang Tran." He goes, Quang Ching Chong, Quang Ching Chong.
Yeah.
And
First reaction,
everyone
laughing.
starts laughing, right? Yes.
And you're ashamed at that point.
Yeah.
Because
And
you're different.
I hated my name.
Mm-hmm.
I hated that I looked different because all my friends were white or black.
Yeah.
Or, Mexican. But everyone's used to that.
Yeah.
Everyone is used to those kinds of things. And then my first experience with racism in I guess my older life, not adulthood, but when I was in high school, me and my friend Kyle were at a red light and this truck pulls up next to us and my friend Kyle rolls his window down and goes, "Hey man, you have a nice truck." And the guy goes, "Oh, thank you." And then the light turns green and then the guy goes like this and he goes, "Chink." And then he peels off, right?
Gave you the finger.
I'm like, dude, I didn't even say anything. I'm just sitting next to the white dude, Yeah, so things like that were very normal and very, very common. But, experiencing racism, Dad, how did you feel like you ever controlled your anger with it? Like, in a professional setting, you can't.
In the professional setting,
obviously,
it's
you
tough.
can't punch someone, like, immediately, right?
Well, I will tell you that growing up, I surrounded myself within my community, right?
Mm-hmm.
Vietnamese.
So there would, yeah, right.
And so
you can't be racist from other Vietnamese people.
Yeah, they can.
You think so?
Yeah.
I mean, no. I'm saying you can't be racist to a Vietnamese person if you're also Vietnamese.
Yeah. I mean, you make fun of them where they came from.
Yeah.
So, but no. So I didn't really experience that kind of. We roamed in packs,
Mm-hmm.
and if you said anything, we beat your ass.
It was a lot of violence.
Yeah, there
right.
was no like
talking it out or.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
But
try
again, that wasn't a professional setting.
Not
right?
a professional setting, right?
Yeah.
In my previous life.
Right.
So growing up, we fought.
That's a lot of violence, Dad.
Yeah, we fought all the time.
Yeah, there's no emotional coping.
There wasn't like, hey man, hold up, you said something. No, you're basically gonna get your ass beat. So it was one of those things. But I remember that. It's just, in the professional world, I would tell you when I first started in
the car business.
In the car business.
That's what I mean.
Okay, well, in the business that I was in,
right? Because
I didn't have an American name.
Right.
And I did,
but
it was not.
Yes.
Yeah. So I chose a couple different names, and it didn't sound right till one stuck.
Lawrence
being one of them, and Larry.
And Larry, funny enough, my friends call you that now.
Because I didn't know.
Right.
Right. And but it's weird.
Mm-hmm.
Because the stereotypical. Okay, I'll tell you, like my first or second day working. I understand weakness in that sense, right? Because I grew up in the arena that I grew up.
Right,
so
right. It's very
this one dude befriended me because it's always when you're in some place new, it's always the weak one that befriends you,
right?
Because they need friends,
right?
And I knew that.
I think you told me this. You told me this story.
So I walked into this office, and of course the guy's not there, and I'm rummaging through the office, and I asked this other guy. His name was Justin. I said, "Hey, man, is this cool?" And he's like, "Oh, yeah, this is my office." Well, the owner of the office, who was basically the top dog of the dealership, comes back, and he looks at me. And so he looks at the weak guy. He looks at me. I'm Asian. Of course, he's,
And at this point,
like,
you're like 100. You look 100 pounds as well.
Yeah. And so he looks at me, and he's like, "What the F are you doing?" I said, "What?" He said, what the fuck are you doing in my office? I said, "Dude, you ain't talking to me. You might be talking to him, but you are not talking to me."
Right.
He said, "I'm talking to you." So I jumped on the desk and tried to punch him, and I didn't think. Now, at that time, I had 2 kids.
Right. And you were still living that violent lifestyle.
Yeah. Right? And so this guy.
And my dad, by the way, my dad's saying this not to encourage.
No, don't. But that was just my nature.
Your reality and your nature. Right.
And so I actually jumped and try to hit him. And the guy was so shocked he backed up, and this Mexican guy named Miguel held me back and said, "Hey, Chino,
Yeah.
it's okay." They didn't fire me, right?
Yeah.
So I did, being whatever. I was
Right.
like, "Oh, I'm gonna kill your ass."
Yeah.
So I called my homeboys up there. He left the dealership for 3 days, didn't come back.
Yeah.
We actually became friends, and they talked to me, and and
Right.
it got squashed. But after that, he didn't mess with Asians no more.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
but that's it's also my assumptions are, because I've seen it a lot of, the racism becomes bullying, right?
Yes.
With weaker.
It starts with a little joke.
Yeah, because
then
if
it
you let it
becomes-
happen, it'll always happen. If you let it happen, it'll always happen.
Right. Exactly.
And so I learned to control my anger. And dude, I will tell you that the eating dog thing.
It's so stale.
Okay,
It's so
even
old.
like the vagina being sideways instead
Oh,
of normal.
yeah.
I've been asked that. And then the old dude's always like, I have a fetish for Asian women.
Yeah.
I've
heard that too.
It's all the above, and they think it's okay.
Yeah, and
And
they
you know
expect
why?
you to be okay with it.
You know why?
Too.
Well, because I'm not racist. I'm only
Right.
asking you a question.
Right.
Well, do your research.
Yeah.
It's
It's not hard, man.
not hard in this day and
Yeah.
age. It's not hard.
No, not anymore.
Do your research.
Right.
Understand who you're talking to and what you're talking about.
Right.
Right. Are there truly people that don't really know? But
Far and few between.
Far and few in
Yeah.
between. But I would tell you that, there's the Asian communities extremely racist.
Yes.
Right?
Oh, we are
There's
very, very racist.
Chinese
yes.
people hate certain people.
Right.
Koreans hate, they
Mhm.
look down on a certain Asian races.
The Koreans don't like the Vietnamese.
No.
The Japanese don't like us either.
No.
Yeah.
Nobody likes the Chinese. It's just one of those things. It's weird.
Yeah.
It's a weird deal.
It's
I mean,
very weird.
it's racism,
Within
and there's
racism.
misunderstanding within.
Right.
Yes. Inside the Asian community,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like, I don't know much about the Indian culture, the Pakistan. I don't know anything.
Right, but they're technically a part of Asia.
Yeah.
Right, and they are Asian technically.
That's right.
Yes.
And I don't. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but when you say Asian, you think of
You think of people that look like us.
Yes.
Slanted eyes and,
Yellow
black
skin.
hair.
Yeah.
Small in nature. And,
yeah.
But,
Despite all that, Dad, I think we talk about this a lot. Being proud of your Vietnamese culture and Asian culture in general.
What are you? Are you proud?
Definitely, 100%. I am now, and I wasn't before.
How
which
did
is crazy.
How did you learn, or how did you come upon that? Would be
Becoming proud of it.
Yeah.
I definitely wasn't until I started. Probably towards the end of my high school career. Like, for basically 16 years of my life, I was pretty ashamed of being Vietnamese, and especially of being Asian. Yeah.
Wow.
Just because I got so much shit for it all the time. I can't recall every specific experience.
Sure. But it's tough.
People treat you differently for the way that you look.
Yes.
And when everyone is white, and you're the only Asian person, you get treated differently. And I hated it for so long.
Yeah.
It wasn't until I started high school when someone asked me what my middle name was. And I told them it was Quang. And from then on, that kind of became my name throughout high school.
Yeah.
And it sort of helped me accept the identity of being Vietnamese,
Yeah.
And just the older I got, the more culture of it I experienced. I mean, that was when you and Mom started cooking more at home.
That's right.
I started getting more Vietnamese home-cooked meals. And then when I moved out and then we started going to Houston more. That helped me tremendously, Dad.
Seeing people that look like you.
Yes. Seeing people that look like me, going to places where the street signs aren't in English, and all you're hearing is Vietnamese, and all you're eating is Vietnamese food. It helps a lot, immersing yourself in the culture. I'm proud of it now, 100%. I don't even like admitting. I like to say that I'm Vietnamese before I say that I'm American.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you kind of grow into it.
Absolutely.
I didn't have that. I've always been proud.
You've always been proud.
Yeah.
Yes.
I've always carried
And
those
I think
colors.
that you also gave that to me too, Dad.
Yeah.
Your pride in being Vietnamese gave me more pride too.
Yeah. I've always carried those colors. Like
Yeah.
I love being
Vietnamese.
Vietnamese.
Yes.
I love the culture. I love my history.
Right. I love the history too.
I love all of it.
I remember whenever this is like a part of me taking more pride of it, Dad. I was eating at a restaurant in Bel Air, and I was just eating by myself. It was during high school. I had driven to Houston alone, and I was like, you know what? Let me research on how Vietnam became a country. And I had no idea that it was three sisters, three Vietnamese women.
That was one of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was one of the
not
history.
Not the origin
legend.
story, but one of the legends, right? Three Vietnamese sisters left China, and just like basically claimed some land and started a war to be independent there. Was that it?
No. They were in Vietnam at the time.
Oh, they were already there. Okay.
Yeah.
I just remember it being three
it was
sisters.
called Olak or something. I don't.
But it is three sisters, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, they're famous. You'll see them on the murals. It'll be three sisters on elephants. The trans sisters. So, I mean, I don't know much about it.
Yeah, I read one article about it a long time ago.
Type of deal. But I'm very, very proud of being Vietnamese.
I love that, Dad.
You know,
me too.
Because I didn't grow up like you.
Right.
Right. I wasn't surrounded by, other type of ethnicity.
Right.
I was surrounded by just my Vietnamese friends.
Yeah. And you had Vietnamese friends, and
I grew up with nothing.
I never got that until now, basically.
Yeah, I grew up with nothing but Vietnamese friends.
Yes.
So I mean, I speak it fluently.
Right. And that helps a lot too, Dad.
Yeah.
The fact that you and Mom speak it at home still helps tremendously.
Yeah, I speak it fluently. I love it. I mean, of course, we've gone back to the country.
Right. That made me more proud. Yeah.
Yeah, you see how, just the struggle and the things that, and the stories. But I think it's about embracing your history. I think that, whatever that you are, you just got to learn how to embrace it, I guess. Find out what's good.
Right.
Because, we're understanding that, being Vietnamese, we have a line of a few thousand years.
Yes.
Whereas if you're an American, you're born by, parents that got here maybe 100, maybe 200 years ago. So it's a little bit different. So we're speaking on terms of, like, for me and him, just being Asian, being Vietnamese specifically, the racism and the weird stuff that happens, in the professional. Because it's easier to be a racist towards an Asian person than it is any other race.
Right.
Which is weird because of the stereotypes.
Is that we're submissive.
Yes.
Right.
The male Asian is good in math.
Yeah, he's small.
He's
and
small.
He
listens. He's submissive.
And he's, yes.
And, he won't fight back.
Right.
So,
and some part of that is true, I think.
I think a lot of it's true.
I would say a lot of it is true. Right.
So I'm sometimes an anomaly because when they take a look at me, and I'm like,
Yeah, I know, Dad. And I'm proud of it too because it helped me a lot be not that small, submissive Asian stereotype guy.
It's weird. It's weird. I get mad about it.
Yeah, I do too. It makes me upset because, why would you let someone do that to you? But I mean, culturally, I guess it's different. But I guess speaking of different cultures, Dad, did you ever even want to be a different ethnicity or race besides Vietnamese? Never.
No. Did you?
No. Especially, I mean, when I was younger, I probably wanted to just be like a white kid.
Because you assume it was normal.
Right. I wanted to look like my friends.
Yeah.
But, the older I've gotten now, I'm so proud of it. I wouldn't want to be anything else.
It's weird, right? I never experienced that. I never wanted to be, truthfully, anything else but be Vietnamese because that's all I knew.
Right.
I had strong friends, right, mentally and stuff like that. So, a lot of my friends were strong and in that sense. And so, I never wanted to be
anything else.
I would tell you that thought probably never even entered my mind. That, hey, I mean, maybe we joke around about it, like, hey, man, this or that. But as far as a serious want,
never.
No.
Yeah, me either, Dad.
But how were you dealing with the Asian stereotypes when you were growing up in high school? Now, mind you, you're 20, so your high school was
Right.
just a few years ago.
It was very recent. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I honestly, I didn't get too much of it. It was
The percentage of Asian kids that went to your school was not that much.
no. There, I can count on one hand how many Vietnamese people were there, and two of how many Asian people.
Yeah.
But I didn't get a lot of it. I think it's because I fell so far away from the Asian stereotype in the first place. I think, like,
So were you ever bullied
not in high school. Never in high school.
for being Asian?
No.
Did you see it?
I did see it one time, and I actually regret not doing anything about it. This white kid walked into the gym, and we were all sitting in like the lobby area, and there was another Vietnamese kid that I didn't really know him, but I knew that he was also Vietnamese.
Yeah.
And he was a grade or two below me. I can't remember. But this white kid came in and he was like, "You fucking chink." And he said that, right?
Yeah.
And I got up out of my chair and I was like, "Who the fuck are you talking to?"
Yeah.
Because he wasn't looking at anybody directly.
Yeah.
And then he was like, "Oh, no. I'm not talking to you. I was just talking to him." And he points to the other Vietnamese kid. And I wish I would have socked him in the fucking face at the time.
Yeah.
But I was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, that's fine."
Yeah.
Because I was like, "Oh, he's not talking to me. So
Yeah.
I'm not going to do anything about it. Like, that's their problem. Whatever."
I would tell you that's the difference, though. I would have beat his ass.
Right, and I think I
Yeah.
should have.
Yeah, I would have beat his ass.
But, you know, I'm proud of myself in the first place for being
Well,
like,
you did the right thing.
I said, "Who the fuck are you talking to?"
Yeah.
And then he kind of backed down.
Yeah.
But he was talking to the other. I had no idea. They were 2 grades below me. I didn't talk to
Yeah.
them. I don't know what was going on. But I should have done something about it, you know? And that's honestly one of my bigger regrets, Dad. I wish I would have. I'm not saying I wish I would have fought him, but I wish I would have been like, "Hey, bro, you can't be talking to him like that. Like, what is wrong with you?" You know what I'm saying?
I get.
At the very least.
So I would
Like,
say,
stand up for someone else that was, you know what I mean, Dad?
Yeah, you remember my friend SV came down to visit.
Yeah.
Did you remember that story he told you what I did? We were in the club.
In Korea?
Yeah. So
yeah.
we were in the army together.
Is this the back-to-back story?
No.
Oh.
That's for another day.
Yeah.
Maybe
Maybe we have Uncle SB on the show.
We can. He
That'd
can
be
probably
cool.
call in.
He probably call
talk
in,
about the
yeah.
army. Yeah, he's a kindergarten cop now.
Yeah. Is he really?
Yeah, he's a policeman and
elementary school?
At elementary
That's
school.
kinda cool.
And they love him.
Oh,
they
of
love
course
him.
they do,
He's
yeah.
I make fun of him about it. But no, anyways, you should get him to tell you the story because it was me and him in the club, and these two GIs walk in and they had the Vietnamese hats on, the conical hats, the straw hats that are.
Okay, GI as in what, army person, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So they walked in and I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah.
And SV is like confused. He's like, man, what are you staring at? So I just got up.
Oh, he
and
didn't see it.
No, he saw it, but he didn't know.
He didn't care.
I said, man, what are you doing wearing that? And he's like, oh, we just think. I said, dude, you making fun of my effing race? You take that shit off.
Yeah.
And he was so in shock. At first, he thought I was a Korean soldier.
Yeah.
But then I just started talking.
And you sound
shit.
American.
Yeah,
right.
and I'm like aggressive. I'm like
Right.
in their face. I'm like, take that shit off before I take that off for you.
Yeah.
And so they took it off and they apologized. I said, man, don't be wearing that. And SB's like, are you okay? I said, man, they rolling in here making fun of me. And then he says, they weren't making fun of you. They didn't even know you were here.
You see, that's a good
But
example.
that's the
Yes.
aggressive, silly side,
Right.
stupid side of what
Right.
I did, right? And
See,
so,
that now later on in your life, now you acknowledge that maybe it wasn't necessary to,
it wasn't necessary.
right, to confront them in that manner.
But yeah.
You know, Uncle SV, I see both sides of the coin.
Yeah,
man,
he's very
whatever.
calm.
Who gives a shit? They're
Yeah,
not fucking
he's
with
very
me directly.
calm.
I don't care.
I'm the aggressive one.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Right.
So he's very calm.
Yes.
But that's why I never experienced that, because I would fight back.
You always checked it. Right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You ain't.
I didn't check it until I got older, Dad, when I became ironically, more proud of being Vietnamese.
Yeah.
You know, when I was younger, I was like, dang, I'm getting bullied for this. Maybe I deserve it because I am this way. You know?
Isn't that a weird
and then
feeling?
I got like tricked into being ashamed of it. Yeah.
Yeah, isn't that a weird feeling?
But then that is weird. And then the more pride I built, the more willing I was and confident to, stand up to that sort of
But now you talk about it.
Yeah.
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 Now it's okay for you to walk into whatever and eat,
Yeah.
like what we had for lunch today.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, just a normal Asian
I love it.
Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great meal.
And did you see how many white people were there?
I didn't see any.
There was like a few white families.
Really?
Yeah.
That's cool though. I like
Yeah.
that. I like
Yeah.
interchange of culture.
I do. It makes me giggle.
It does.
I like the popularity of it. That it's
There is a big popularity.
It's very popular, pops.
Oh man.
And it wasn't until very recently.
Koreans.
Yeah, they introduced it.
K-pop.
The
dog.
anime started it. The Koreans
And-
took it to another level.
I will tell you that your normal kid growing up.
Never heard of anime.
Well, no. You're our age.
Oh, my
a little
age?
bit older.
Yeah, we love anime now.
Yeah, I think anybody 30 below now.
And
is
yeah, if you were born in like the 90s.
in the 90s, you got
Yeah.
into, I think,
Dragon Ball.
Dragon Ball Z brought it to a whole nother level.
No, whole other level.
Naruto is just
crazy.
insane.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
I think that like the rapper Megan Thee Stallion loves academics. What is it called?
My Hero Academia.
Yeah, that's
Megan
like
Thee
her
Stallion, she loves
favorite.
it. Black people love anime.
It's,
It's crazy.
can we say black people?
Yeah.
Is it African Americans?
I don't know. Asian American. Who says Asian American?
I've
mean,
never
that's like
said
the
it. I just
PC
tell
term,
people
I
I'm
guess.
Vietnamese, but I'm from Houston. I'm an H-Town kid.
Yeah.
That's what I tell
Yeah,
people.
I
So
have the same
I
thing.
don't know how the. And if we offend anybody, I'm sorry.
Uncle Mike.
We don't.
Uncle
Like
Mike
if you
doesn't
asked me
care.
if I was have a black friend, I would tell you yes.
Yeah.
I have one.
Yeah, basically. But yeah, the popularity is it's crazy, Dad. And you know what too?
Information now, because of social media,
It spreads so quickly.
it spreads, and
The trends
they
spread
get to
too.
learn.
Yeah.
A lot of people that didn't learn, like if I
Right.
go down to Bel Air, and that's like Chinatown, one of the biggest Chinatowns in the nation as far as
100%.
lane. Yeah,
And
you
yes.
will see randomly, like on a Saturday or Sunday,
Mhm.
at this one Korean restaurant called Two Hands. They're not paying us or anything.
No. Yeah.
Or right in that little corner, people
Right.
just lined up, and it's all
And-
different type of
And
races
none of them are
eating.
Asian. I mean,
No, they love that stuff.
yeah, it's crazy.
Freaks, it is like it's,
It's
like
crazy.
dang.
And when I was a kid and we would go to Bel Air, there were never any white people there.
No,
Never. When
No.
I don't remember being a kid and seeing any white people.
I
Yeah.
mean, I will tell you that culturally, everything kind of crosses paths and
Right.
interbreeds. Like
Right.
rap is huge in Vietnam.
It is exactly.
Big
yeah.
time.
Not to say that.
Well,
just
Koreans, you know,
they love.
it.
Yeah.
I
and
mean, but
Vietnamese people love it too.
yeah, it's spread around. I mean,
can't
it's-
listen to it. It makes my head hurt.
But you like
know,
that soft cafe music.
Yeah, I do love Vietnamese music. Don't get me wrong. I just can't listen to Vietnamese rap, Dad.
You can't.
No.
I like
no,
it.
No.
I like it. I was listening to it the other day. But then I'm a big hip hop head anyway. So
Right.
It's
you
a little
are.
bit different,
That is true.
you know.
But yeah, Vietnamese people love hip hop culture, especially from America too.
Yeah, because they basically stole the swag, right?
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did.
That kind of confident attitude,
Mm-hmm.
the
Mhm.
reverse attitude of most Asian men.
Right.
It's a stereotype.
Yes, and I think Vietnamese people, maybe this is our bias, but I think we take that to another level too.
What?
The rejecting the stereotype of submissiveness. I think for the most part, when I think of a Vietnamese man, I don't think of like a small, frail, sort of yes, honey.
Your typical Asian
Typical
male
Asian
that's
male.
everybody thinks
Yeah,
of.
of course, this is a biased, Dad, but yeah, even if they were FOB, I still think they're like,
FOB, fresh off the boat.
yes, even if they were FOB. Vietnamese men are very abrasive, and I think they're very rough around the edges.
Bro, I will tell you that some of my good friends in life, and they're like a $105, like just little
Mhm.
dudes, or some of the
Yes.
craziest, toughest people.
That's what I'm saying.
That mentally
what I'm
and
saying.
I'm not saying physically, but they will challenge you. It's one of those
Right.
things that they either die or win in a
Yeah.
fight. There's no
Yeah, and
like
that's
mental.
very
It's
Vietnamese.
Yes, it
Yes.
is. It is like.
That is very Vietnamese.
I mean, I think it's from years of war. I mean, so
yeah,
you
it's
know,
bred in our blood.
I believe, this is just me,
Mm-hmm.
that through the 1,000 years of war with China,
Mm-hmm.
you know, the constant war.
The U.S.
After, well, not constant war, but the constant war with China, coming back and then having to fight the French,
Right.
the
Oh my God.
the
300 years
Japanese,
of that. Yeah.
the and all kind of stuff.
Did
You
we
know,
get
fighting
invaded
for.
by Japan too, or we repelled them?
Yeah, we did in 45.
But they never stayed, did they?
No, they were after they lost the war. They lost the war when America dropped the bomb. They left.
Oh.
But
Okay.
they were.
I mean, they were everywhere in
They
Asia.
were everywhere. China,
They invaded
everywhere.
all
They
of
invaded
Asia.
everywhere.
Yeah.
They went crazy.
Yeah.
But no, I
Yeah.
mean, but you think about it, man. Like even little Japanese dudes, they out there killing people. They damn near, they were beating up everybody.
They're crazy too.
Yeah. Like the kamikazes.
Yeah, giving their life. They give their life. That's crazy, Dad. Yeah.
But yeah, I just think like, I don't, when I think of like an Asian male, I don't think weak.
Definitely not.
I
Not
have,
anymore, at least.
but weirdly, I have a big respect for Asian women.
Yes. Yeah, we do. And that
I've-
was all from Ba.
Yeah, from my mom. And so I don't think, so in general, I don't think Asian people are weak mentally.
I don't think so. Right.
I mean, we might be smaller physically,
Mm-hmm.
but I mean,
We're willing to stand up to it.
I've seen some stuff in my life where I'm like, that's a little dude, but he just goes at it like like a spider monkey.
Yeah.
I'm like, dang, bro.
Yeah. Pretty crazy, Dad. Maybe you can talk about some of the violent stories in another episode, huh?
I mean, we'll get into those crazy violent stories, some of the stuff that happens in the world out there. But talking about just the reverse racism, not reverse racism, but the racism towards us, and in general.
Mm-hmm.
And I see it a lot, because we're like the gray people.
Yeah.
Well, this is what I mean by that. Because a lot of the other races, meaning the white people, the black people, the Mexican people, they don't see us as a threat. And so when they become our friends, they take us in and we're part of the household and they'll say anything.
Right.
And I've heard, I've sat in conversations on both race, black, white, Mexicans.
Mm-hmm.
And, and I've heard the bad mouthing.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, they don't say that about you or about Asian because I'm sitting there.
Mm-hmm.
But, I've heard it.
Yeah.
From the, from people you didn't think that was racist.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's weird.
That goes back to everybody being a little bit racist.
I truly think that everybody is racist.
And you're crazy to not. Even if you don't actively do anything about it, subconsciously.
Well, you grow up, there's something a part of it. Somebody taught you. Something happened to you.
Right.
I mean, I can tell you a story. I won't say names, but this kid grew up and he was picked on his whole life. He's a white kid by a bunch of black kids, and he hates black people.
Yeah.
And he's never said anything to me.
Right.
But I didn't find out until one day we were kind of drunk and he kind of admitted the story to me, and I kind of looked at him like, and then he hits me with, but I don't, I don't hate Asian people. And I'm like, bro, if you hate one race, you hate all of us, right?
Yeah, you hate all of them. Yes.
But it was from what? It's from how he used to get picked on. He was bullied.
Right.
And that's all he talked about.
That's the childhood.
This a 50-year-old man talking about how he was bullied by a bunch of black kids
40 years ago. Yeah.
40 years ago, and it still lives with him.
Yeah.
And you could never tell. If you talk to him, you wouldn't know.
You would have no idea.
Oh, he's a great dude.
Right.
Right? Until, you become drunk one day and the truth comes out, and I'm like, I can't really talk to you anymore, bro. Because I don't know what other feelings you harbor.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm. Right. I mean,
and it's always defended by what? Well, I don't hate your people. Yeah. Or I don't hate that people.
I just hate them.
Yeah. And for me, I had two sets of friends. You were either Asian or black.
Yeah.
I didn't.
You had nothing else.
I had nothing else.
Right. Growing up for you, yeah.
I grew up with. I bridged those worlds very easily.
Yes.
Yes,
you definitely.
Example.
Do. My uncle.
Yeah. I mean, so I bridge those worlds, and I don't see a difference in the people. I just. Mm-hmm. I can tell you that I don't look at what you look like. I just judge you by how you act.
Right. I think that's a good rule of thumb
But
to go by.
I will
Dad.
tell you that I do have some form of racism. I'm not going to deny that. There's certain things that I'm
Everybody
like,
does.
yeah, because something happened or whatever. But
right.
if you say levels, it's not as bad.
Yeah, if we're talking 1 to 10,
Yeah, it's not bad.
we're definitely.
But
below.
then everybody has a little bit of that.
Yeah, definitely.
You know.
And I think you're crazy to not admit that.
Yeah, I mean, shit. I mean, what's the first thing that Asian kids do? They get picked on.
Yeah.
And if
Especially
you're a male
in
Asian, what do
America.
they do? Oh, you got small little dingling.
Yeah, dealing with that stereotype.
Is that politically correct? Calling them little dinglings?
No, Dad.
But I mean, you know,
Yeah.
It is what it is, right?
It
You're
is.
smart. You're not manly.
Yeah.
You know,
But we defy those stereotypes, Dad.
Yeah. Well, I mean, here's the thing. I find it funny because that's what I get hit with all the time, right? Because when you're Asian, what do they say?
Yeah.
You know,
Same shit.
Yeah. You
Eat
handsome.
dog.
You eat dog.
Yeah.
I got into it with this one dude that's, I would tell you, older gentleman with kids.
Mm-hmm. This was in your professional life.
Yes, and he's talking about this Chinese buffet in this town that I work in, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so this dude is telling me that at night the chef goes around and hunts for dogs and cats for the Chinese buffet.
Oh my God.
With cleavers, those big knives.
Yes.
And I said, wait a minute. I said, look. So would you admit that Chinese buffet in the middle of town in the busiest street, how much do you think they pay to keep it open? Everybody in town eats it because it's the only Chinese buffet in town.
Right.
And I see it crowded all the time.
Right.
He says, well, the reason why they could be so cheap is because they kill our dogs.
Oh my God.
And I said, now
half
let me
joking,
ask.
half serious.
No, he was serious.
Oh, full serious.
Yes. And I said, well, have you seen him? He's like, no, but my friends have. I said, you've seen a fat Chinese man with a knife going around town at night. In this day and age with video phones.
Right.
Breaking it. So instead of stealing your jewelry,
he's breaking into your house.
So this fat Chinese man with 2 knives is just waiting in a car to get your dog.
Right.
He's like, well, no, he gets strays. I said, you know how hard it is to chase a stray dog?
He's 100% serious?
Yeah.
I'd never heard this story, Dad.
Never?
No, you never told me.
Oh my gosh. I still laugh about it because it's in his eye. He was fighting me. We got into an argument.
Oh my.
But I find it so comical, so I just kind of walked away. And I'm like, dude, you teach your kids that?
Yeah.
And he is super religious.
Oh my God. No way.
Yeah. It's weird.
I feel like I know who. Do I know who it is?
No.
Oh. Man, that's pretty funny, Dad.
But and I'm telling you, that's a lot of stuff that people don't talk about because they don't know.
Right. They don't. Yeah.
They don't know.
Ironically, the Asian culture is popular now, but they still don't know.
No.
The ins
I
and
mean,
outs
you
of-
look at the guys on what's that group, BTS?
Yeah.
They look very feminine.
Yeah. Unfortunately.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. They wear
Them dudes look
makeup and
smallish.
look
Yeah.
paler on
I mean,
purpose.
because they can dance and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And, but a lot of the girls, I guess, like them.
Yeah.
Or even
they
dudes. They love that stuff.
They do.
They
It's
listen
weird.
to it.
It's crazy.
They are popular.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And so if you're saying that's a big time, like I tell people all the time, like your uncle said, yeah, Asians are eating, dog.
Yeah. Uncle Jay said that.
No, to you, my brother.
Oh, yeah, to you.
Yeah,
Uncle Jay
Asians-
did say that too, though.
He did say that.
He did say that.
He told
yeah.
you that.
He did.
When you ever listen, shout out to J-Mo.
Yeah, shout out to you, Uncle.
It's funny, man, because I look at it and it's just I don't know. It's weird.
It is very weird, Dad.
It's weird, but the popularity is so explosive now.
It's everywhere.
Oh man, it
Everywhere.
is
People are
everywhere.
getting plastic surgery to look like us, Dad. Have you seen those pictures before?
Yeah,
It
and
is
you know
so
what's the one
crazy.
prevalent thing when you was kids? They slant their eye.
Yeah, they use their
pull the
finger and
eyelids back.
they go like this. Yeah.
You know,
And now people are getting plastic surgery to look like that permanently.
that's trends.
So crazy. So crazy.
I don't know what the next trend will be.
I know.
But
I hope
it's
it's nothing
insane.
like that. Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know. I mean, look, I mean, I'm married to a Vietnamese woman.
My mom. Yeah.
You know, so
Yeah.
Yeah. Your brother's basically married.
Yeah.
You date an Asian woman. You know, your sister doesn't.
Yeah.
But, you know.
She doesn't like to. I don't know. And I think it's because she thinks the Asian stereotypes are a little true. Of
Probably.
Like small, submissive.
Yeah, but I think that I influenced that in her life.
Yeah?
Like the men that she dates, it's the reverse. At one point, she tried to date men like me. The crazy, out of, you know, just insane, whatever.
It never worked.
It didn't work out, so now she dates men that she thinks is more like you, her brother.
Yeah.
Mentally.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Different side.
But he's a big Asian fan.
Megan's,
anime and all that
watching anime
stuff.
all the time, loves the food, you know, whatever. But, we're approaching that 40-minute mark, Dad.
That quick?
Yeah, that went by like this.
Told you.
Very fast.
Very fast.
Huey, if you're listening to this episode, I hope the fucking audio is better, man. Holy shit. He texted me last week. It was like, hey, dude, I told you already. You need to turn that volume up. I'm like, yeah. And yes, bro, I've been recording every day.
Why use that platform to talk to him? You need to talk to him on the side. Yeah, text his ass. He's
Uncle
proud
Mike,
of being Asian.
Yeah. Oh, 100% proud of being
Uncle Mike's proud of being Asian.
Absolutely. He definitely
Black
is.
Asian.
He lived with us for so damn long.
Black Asian.
Yeah. All right, y'all. With that being said.
All right.
Thank you guys.
Gap so.
Good night.